Good evening, everybody. My name is Stan the Man to Real Talk on the Dream Nation Network. Today, we're going to briefly talk about the disparity in sentencing among Black people and white people. The lopsided sentencing between Blacks and whites. Stay tuned. Good evening, everybody. My name is Stan the Man, and this is Real Talk here on the Dream Nation Network, brought to you every Sunday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. Okay, we're running a little late today, but that's all right. We're going to talk about the lopsidedness between sentencing of Black men, women, and children compared to white men, women, and children, especially Black men. Okay, now we all know that when it comes to sentencing, we get the brunt of the deal. We get the most harshest, egregious sentencing that there could be. I've seen this in my personal life, not me, but people that I've known that been sentenced to years upon years for crimes that they really shouldn't get that much time for. Okay, let's go to the news clip. Here we go. Let's see what they're talking about.
You know the expression, you do the crime, you do the time. We've all heard that phrase.
But in Virginia and across the country, people of color are sentenced to prison for significantly longer than white people who commit the same crimes. State and federal data shows that African American people, especially Black men, get harsher sentences. A local prosecutor and a public defender say the imbalance is due to racism. News 3 investigator Jessica Larche exposes the root of the problem.
You're never going to get out of prison. It's devastating.
Lawrence Stevens says his prison cell felt more like a coffin. At 18 years old in 2001, a York County judge sentenced him to 1,823 years for armed robbery. No one was killed or seriously injured.
Honestly, I felt like I died in court on that day.
His best friend, Darnell.
Now, this guy got 1,823 years in prison for armed robbery. No one was hurt, and no property was damaged. What sense did that make?
Nolan was 17 when he helped Stevens carry out the crime. He got 33 years.
Just knowing that I got that time and knowing that my best friend got a life sentence, I was like, there's nothing that's going to be okay about this.
But York County Judge Prentice Smiley sentenced the 29-year-old white man who orchestrated the crime to 10 years. That's because...
Okay, did you hear that? The man that orchestrated this whole crime, put the whole thing together, the mastermind, he got 10 years. The other brother got 33 years for his part in the crime. But the mastermind, the white guy, 10 years.
As the judge used his discretion to go beyond sentencing guidelines for Stevens and Nolan, but cut their white co-defendant, Paul Michael Melendrez, a Brit.
We see second chances be given to people who don't look like me.
Portsmouth Commonwealth Attorney Stephanie Morales says there is a systemic problem that leads to disproportionate sentencing.
We have system actors who are in positions of power, like myself, prosecutors, judges, police officers, who won't admit that. And largely that is a part of the problem.
Stick around. Morales reveals a problem that prevents prosecutors from addressing excessive sentences of the past. But first, A look at the data. According to the U.S. Sentencing Commission, black male offenders on average receive sentences 20% longer than white males who commit the same crimes. And according to the Virginia State Crime Commission, black males were found to receive sentences that were 50% longer than white males.
Why are we seeing rates of black and brown people being sentenced excessively longer than white people who commit the same crimes?
The simple answer is racism.
Brett Haywood is a public defender in Northern Virginia. He says cases like Stevens and Nolan highlight a long-standing crack in the criminal justice system.
It's no shock to me that somebody who's black goes into a courtroom and isn't given the fair shake that somebody who's white gets.
According to the Sentencing Project report, prosecutors historically use their discretion to charge black defendants more harshly than whites for the same crimes. And judges statistically reserve harsher sanctions within sentencing guidelines for black men more than any other group. But Amy Fedek with the Sentencing Project says we should all care about the disproportionate data.
Is this a fair system? The color of your skin determines your punishment more than what you actually did.
But get this, Morales says in Virginia, there is no path for prosecutors to rectify excessive sentences of the past. Parole was abolished in the Commonwealth back in 1995. And getting pardoned by a governor is a long shot. You see, former Governor Ralph Northam pardoned Stevens and Nolan in January after the NAACP got involved in their case. They had already served 2 decades behind bars.
As prosecutors, we cannot look at a case and say, this is grossly disproportionate. This is grossly unfair.
But a second look bill being considered in the Virginia General Assembly aims to address that. It has bipartisan support, and if passed, it would give those behind bars a chance to ask the court to make changes to their sentence.
There's a lot of work to do to reform this, and we can start by ensuring.
You can start by punishing these judges that hand out these egregious sentences, knowing full well that it's against the law. If it's not, it should be. That they should be disbarred, because it's systemic racism. That means they're proud of it. They are a willing part of the racism that permeates in the justice system. He gave that man 33 years for armed robbery. At most, that's a 5 to 7 year sentence. The white guy only got 10 years. The other brother got over 1,000 years. That didn't make any kind of sense.
But people who are currently serving sentences that are largely unfair get a second chance.
A second chance like the one Stevens and Nolan are using to shed light on the lever of justice.
There's still guys that have 100, 200,000, more than what was given to my co-defendant and myself.
The second look bill passed in the state Senate, but it has a steeper hill to climb in the Republican-controlled House of Delegates. Republican delegate Carrie Coyner introduced the legislation there, so supporters of the second look bill hope she can influence her Republican colleagues. Jessica Larche, News 3.
There it is. It's crazy how these judges and these prosecutors, and in some instances, the public defenders is working alongside these people to make sure that these black guys, men, women, and children, get harsher sentences. Right, it should be against the law. These people should be disbarred. There should be some kind of way that you can censure or vet these judges from before they even get into office. I know they've done their due diligence and went to law school and been a lawyer and all of this, but it should be a special committee that looks at their cases throughout their careers to determine if they should even be a judge. That's what I think should happen. Man got 33 years. The other guy got over 1,000 years, and the white guy only got 10 years. Unfair sentencing in the judicial system. This is systemic racism, and it should be abolished. It should be put down. You get thousands and thousands of guys in jail. A lot of these guys are in jail because of something that they didn't even do. And also the guys that maybe did the crime is doing unfair time for that crime. When will it stop? When will this end? They say this is the land of the free. I don't see free anywhere. Not even for people that's out of jail. You know, you're afraid to ride down the street because a cop might stop you, even though you know you're doing nothing wrong. You know, it's a wonder. My name is Stan. This has been Real Talk. This has been Real Talk on the Dream Nation Network. Have a good day, everybody.